Hello everybody. For the last time, I will be here to introduce the final run of the event. Here we have SirBorris, the one and only SirBorris. Working on SRT 380%. So let me swap over this. I'm gonna hopefully have the webcam and audio line up a whole lot better than it was with Laura earlier, so we strive for improvement here. If it's a little bit better, that's all I'm aiming for. So we take those around here.
You'll be glad I don't actually have I don't have a mug or anything, so I can't speak and drink at the same time. Don't quite have those powers, but I'm close.
Add a little bit of delay on the webcam. Hopefully that works, and hopefully it lines up decently well.
Alrighty.
I will tweak with it as the run actually begins, but because I can't really tell at the moment. But
oh, look. what's a little bit of delay, you know? What's a little bit of delay?
I think I'm pretty much all set here to start. If you want to get going.
Fantastic, no worries. Hello everyone. We'll be getting straight into the run in that case. Make sure I don't leave my important save file, and we're going to be starting the run in 3, 2, 1, let's go. And ladies and gentlemen, I know you guys just watched an amazing 3NE OG run, or race rather I should say, between 4 very, very good runners. Now, you may be left wanting more, right? You're watching that run, you're like, they don't collect enough eggs. I feel like there's not enough eggs collected in that run for my liking. I really love eggs. Well, by God, do I have the run for you, because we're going to be collecting 100 of those suckers. We're actually going to be starting out the run very, very quickly with a bunch of different eggs, and all going to be collected with wall glides. So I hope you guys are excited as we kick off. The first little bit of movement here, grab some really easy eggs. Isabel, probably the easiest egg to miss, if I'm being honest. Very, very easy to miss. Easy to forget. And there's our first wall glide, followed up by a very quick second one here. We're going to try and get Amy early. And that's a really good wall glide there. We can actually glide between Sheila's cage and the actual wall itself. And that actually pushes Spyro up, which is exclusive to PC version. So on console, you won't actually be seeing that. But here we have the luxury of being pushed up. A third wall glide very, very shortly will follow up to Miles here. We don't really want to go around the entire level. We're going to go for a hoverless variant, which unfortunately we do miss. So I will have to hover here. Yes, here's another wall glide. Grab Miles. Stops us from having to go around the entire level. And that's going to be a common thread as we move through 3NE here. There's lots of walls that Spyro can just, you know, strangely climb. And that's why I thought it'd be very, very relevant to give my little man a space suit. You know, he's going to space. The run, our goal here is to kill the sorceress, right? But our actual goal is to get Spyro into a UFO. So, 2 goals here. Both obtained by getting 100 eggs. So, collecting as many eggs as we can, and our other goal there as well is to collect some gems. We'll have some gem requirements as we head through this run. Not too many though, so nice and comfy, and we exit there. Beautiful. That's the first level done, and it's actually very, very good first split. If you've seen my 3NE runs before, or anyone's in SRT's 3NE runs, you'll know that the first 2 splits are probably the most reset intensive, right? So good to get through that first one. Now we have the second one here. We do have to dodge Bianca's cutscene here again, so I'm going to do yet another wall glide, similar to what we had at the start of the run. And then make our way over to Cloud Spire's mosey on over, collecting gems as we go. Hunter will try his best to help us out, but we know Hunter is the true enemy of SRT, right? So he's withholding eggs. We have to try and coax them out of him. So we're going to be getting one as we leave this level, but here's a couple more wall glides for you wall glides fans. Unfortunately missing that one, but it's okay, we can just reset up. There's the first one, just to skip a few activations, and there's a second one here. It's a little bit tougher. We're going to try and get it straight first try, if we can. No, we are going to hover. So there is an auto hover on most walls that's trying to stop you from doing these sort of wall glides, but that's not enough to try and stop us long term. We will get getting the second try wall glide, get all the way to the end of Cloud Spires. But first, we need to go get Claire. And she's up here on the pedestal. And collect her nice and quickly, and make our way to the end of the level. Now what you just saw there was a little bit of post-egg movement, and it's a bit of a tough one in SRT. It's a bit strange. When you're actually moving away from an egg, your camera locks in behind Spyro, but your movement doesn't. So you actually have to input opposite directions to where you actually think you need to go. So it's important to hold very specific directions. But the other thing that can happen in SRT is that those post-egg movements, they actually reverse again. So you sometimes see me go the wrong way. It's just because SRT, you know, likes to throw in a curveball, a little bit of a wrench, if you will. So, not to worry. We have accounts for that, and we can figure that out. collect Jake, and then we're going to get this thief nice and quickly. We're going to use the flight power up, push him out of the way, touch flame, get Ryan. Out we go for one more egg here in Cloud Spires. There is an optional egg here. We could go for Sun Seeds, but it is slow and only Banana goes for it, so not really interested in that one, unfortunately. But we will be getting this last egg here. She has a bit of a strange hitbox. You have to kill the enemy and then head behind the egg first before you can collect Stephanie. So that's why you saw me move behind the egg and then move back in front. Otherwise the egg doesn't actually trigger. It's a very unusual egg. I think it's the only egg in the game that actually has that property to it. Nonetheless though, we'll get out of there. We've got 10 eggs, which is just enough to get us into Molten Crater, so we'll be heading there very shortly. But first, we need to get something off Hunter. This is going to be the first of many eggs we get from this man. I just don't know why he's holding them hostage. Coltrane, he for it. Alright, Rocky's going to let us in, but first we need to go get Liam. Pick that man's up and then head, or roll here, into Molten Crater. Now, so far, so good. Every level you've seen so far has been, let's skip to the end, or let's skip to as many eggs as possible. Molten Crater is a little bit different, because we don't actually have a way to the end of the level. So instead, what we're going to do, we're just going to run around the level as quickly as possible, collecting gems on our way. Fortunately, missing that 10. But here, we're only going to collect 2 eggs. Which you may be thinking, well, there's a bunch of fast eggs here, if you know. There's the 2 eggs with the thieves, and there's an egg sitting in the Sergeant Bird minigame. We don't actually have a way to get into Sergeant Bird early, so we have to come back here a little bit later. It's actually a really convenient time to come back to Molten Crater right toward the end of the run, so until then, back here. A little bit later on when we have some more gems from other homeworlds and we can spend money a little bit more liberally. The problem we're going to be running into later on in the run is that we have to meet 3 money bags requirements. We have to pay for Sheila, we have to pay for Sergeant Bird, and we have to pay for Bentley, all of which get more expensive over time. So Sheila is 300, so we'll be able to get that nice and easily. Sergeant Bird's 700, and then Bentley is at 1,000 gems, which is our highest gem requirement. Every other money bags we can skip, so just have to be keeping those in mind as we run through this game. Heading into Seashell Shore will be the one and only out of bounds clip for this game. And for some reason, hello Spyro, no worries, you can chill. For some reason in Spyro SRT, specifically SRT 3, there is one portal that's stored underneath a level, and it's Seashell Shore, and it's the Sheila minigame portal. You may have noticed we haven't actually unlocked Sheila just yet, but if we can come up here, we can do what's called a damage clip. So jump in the corner here, we take a little bit of damage, and then upon taking second damage, we just jump, and move through the wall. And you can see Sheila's portal. We haven't unlocked it yet, but because the portal's short of the level, it's no worries, we can come in here and get some eggies and some gemmies. So we're just gonna jump through the level, find what we can gem-wise. And interestingly enough, this is, I think, I might be corrected if I'm wrong, but this is one of the slowest eggs we do in the run. Specifically this breaking down the sandcastle. But it just gives us so many gems for later on in the run that it just becomes worth it for us. Here we are. We're going to break down the sandcastle. We're going to assist these seals in some questionable activities, if I'm being honest. If I'm approached by a seal with a box of TNT to take down a sandcastle, I'm probably second guessing what my motives are. But Sheila, the Australian kangaroo, doesn't care. She's a larrikin. She loves to help a friend, so we're just going to take down this sandcastle, take out these little cannons, and make our way out of this level after collecting a ton of gems. All done there, we grab Molly. For a bit of a skip there, unfortunately we will miss it. And this is where the route deviates for most people. So in SRT 3, there's a bunch of optional eggs that we can go for. There's 100 eggs, you have to get 100 out of 100 of those eggs that is not the fastest egg, but it's one of the fastest eggs that's optional. The only problem with Bluto is he's very RNG dependent. You can see, I'll explain it as we go. We actually got a very good cycle here, so we're hoping that Bluto comes up here. Beautiful. Missing the first missile isn't too bad for me, as long as I don't miss another one. There's 2 things Bluto can do at the start of the fight. He can either charge at you, or he can move away from you. You want him to charge at you, so he then goes for more ammo toward the end of the fight, and you have plenty of time to lay into him and just destroy him. Otherwise, you're looking at a little bit of manipulation to try and get him into position to take some shots. So, we got pretty lucky there. Good RNG. Now, head through the tunnel. The tunnel's pretty chill. It's, you know, very basic, pretty hard to screw up. Unless you're Toasted Cat, in which case it's very easy to throw, but, you know. Only one person in chat, I think, is Toasted Cat, so I think we're all good. Interesting fact about this one on console specifically, it doesn't really impact us on PC, but on console, the tunnel here and Dino Tunnel, the in-game timer actually pauses for whatever reason. So it's actually very optimal to go for both tunnels on console, whereas on PC, we have a loadless timer. So we don't really worry too much about IGT. That being said, the Seashell Tunnel is still optimal for us, so we still go for it. And out we go. That's all Seashell. We actually saved the seals completely by going for Bluto. We save all 6 eggs. And the seals are very happy at us, and the surf is going to be very happy as well. Snappy is saved. Alrighty. Now, we will be going to the one and only speedway of this run. Mushroom Speedway is great because it's nice and early, gives us plenty of gems when we need to go for Sheila coming up. But we also need to go for Sergeant Bird pretty soon after, so getting the 400 gems here is great. But not only that, there's a hunter minigame here that's very fast, so it becomes optimal for us to come to Mushroom Speedway and do the time attack. I'm going to make my way through this one here. It's a little bit janky. You can see I'm not actually going through the rings. The rings hitbox extend down, so they're more of a square than a circle. We're just going to try and finish this as quickly as possible and avoid as much jank as possible, because there are a few spots here where you can fall and pretty much get dragged into the water. Specifically, these spiders are a little bit finicky. Ah, cool. We did our best to try and miss that, and we hit the legs instead, which is great. Means we don't lose any speed, and we can make our way toward the end of the speedway. Cool, and then the butterflies should be nice and straightforward. Flame the top, charge to the bottom. Nice. Done. It's a pretty good speedway. Cool. And I hope you guys can hear my controller ASMR. Otherwise, that's a little taste of the mashing, the ability of Spyro 3. Just a little bit of ringing there, you know. Cool. This is the hunter minigame I was talking about that's nice and quick. If we can get the UFOs in the right speed. We did miss one of the UFOs there. But thankfully, that one's a we can miss. It doesn't actually punish us too hard for missing. So what we can do, we can just swing around here and get him right here. Nice. That's another egg. It's going to be Tater. And that is the speedway. So now we have one more level to complete in Sunrise Spring, and that's going to be the Sheila level. Now, yes, we played the Sheila before, but we still haven't gone to unlock her, so that's where our 300 gem requirement comes in. We're going to go to Cloud Spires because that's one of the closest portals that we can get to get to Sheila. That isn't Sunny Villa. Sunny Villa would be great if we hadn't skipped Bianca cutscene, because every time now that we leave Sunny Villa, we have to skip it again and again and again. So Cloud Spires, equally distant, but we don't have to do the extra skips. We'll come out here instead and make our way over to reveal or release the kangaroo, who is, I think, the best side character in the game, but I might be a little bit biased. That might just be my Australianism coming out. Cool. And we head into Sheila. Sheila, she doesn't have too much in the way of special movement. She kicks, she jumps. She's pretty cool. I did have a mod on where she got a cork hat, but it messed with Sheila's hitbox, so I had to turn it off, which I was very upset about, by the way. Not to worry though, this is pretty much just a push for eggs here, so we're going to do our best to save the Billy Goats, specifically one called Billy, and make our way through the rest of this level, making sure we monitor sparks as well. We want to be coming out of here on gold sparks for the buzz spike that's ahead, so it's important to maintain gold sparks all the way through this level as much as you can. And that comes back from what we did in Seashell with the damage abuse, and Bluto as well. Had we taken any damage on Bluto, we would have to make up for that here, because there's no actual fodder between Bluto and here, outside of the ones that we're seeing now. So. Alright, last egg here. We just have to destroy these mushroom houses. And to do that, all we need to do is clip Sheila's toe through the side of the house, while also maintaining control over what enemies are on the field. Again, we don't want to take damage here, but there is one little fodder here that can help us if we do take some damage. Not too much of a problem. Clear out the houses, clear out the enemies, and we don't need the extra fodder. So we'll just head to the end of the level and talk to Nan here. Or is the egg named Nan? And yeah, it's Bobby and then the egg's named Nan. Cool. That's the end of that level there. So we're going to head out of Sheila, and that is all of the levels in the first homeworld. So you saw every single level. We save someone at the end. We take out the mayor. We take out the Cloud Spire's egg out of the top of the cloud generator. So on and so forth. We've saved everyone, except for Molten Crater. I don't think we actually did anything for that. As a result, they're all here at the balloon, ready to take us over to the next homeworld. But first, the sorceress needs to stop us at the end of each homeworld. And you would have seen this in the previous run. At the end of every homeworld, there is a boss. Each boss has, a certain little bit of strategy to it. This one, I like to call him Green Sonic. But his actual name is Buzz. So we'll be heading in here. To try and take this man down. There's a few strategies here that we can use to take on Green Sonic. And he has 3 main phases. So the first phase, he just kind of jumps around. He's pretty harmless. You want to knock him into lava here as Sheila head bashes him in. So, first phase, pretty harmless. It's a good place to actually practice your positioning for Buzz. If you're able to stand at the right spot at the edge of the field, Buzz will actually have a shortened roll cycle. So I think it's about here, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully we get the shortened one. No, we get the damage abuse one. That's fine. We can deal with that. So that's the end of phase 1. Phase 2, he puts up this fire ring. We want to damage abuse through that. Knock him in. And once again, try and stand in the right position to avoid taking damage. Yep, there we go. That's better. I am going to be playing a little bit risky here. I don't have sparks. So I will need to try and manage that accordingly, because third phase is coming up, and third phase has what's called phantom damage. So we need to be very, very careful. As he sneezes, you'll see fire comes out. It is possible for that fire to linger and hit you at the end of the damage cycle. Oh, okay, real good. Playing things risky here on SirBorris' channel. Beautiful, we're out. Cool. If you die there, you go back to the start of the Buzz fight. It's about 40 to 50 seconds time loss. Generally speaking, not worth it, but we do like to play risky, and we get paid off at the end. That does mean we'll be going through Sparksless the next level. We do have a little bit of a caveat there, though. So as we move into the next level, there is an end of level skip. We're going to Enchanted Towers. In that level, we can skip to the end of the level, sure, but there's an egg we want to grab first called Gladys. And Gladys is in the middle of the level. So we're going to go grab Gladys, and we're going to do what's called a quit game continue. And it takes us out of the game, back to the main menu. We can go back into the game, right back to the start of the level where we left off. And as a result, we come back with full sparks. It actually comes in handy for us right in here in particular, because after the end of the Buzz fight, we're usually battered and bruised. You may also notice that I've skipped Bianca again. If all goes well, we'll be missing Bianca every single level except for Evening Lake. So we should only see her twice in this run, Evening Lake and for the Sorcerer's Door. Fingers crossed anyway. Welcome to Enchanted Towers. Now we do need to be careful not to take damage here. See, we are making our way through, and we're going to go grab Gladys first. She's an egg all the way over here, nicely positioned for us. And then, quick game continue. Puts us back in the level right at the start with golden sparks. Ready to go to the end of level skip, which is very reminiscent of what you may have seen in OG. So, come across here. It's a little bit of a tough trick. What we're going to be doing is a boosted hover. So, up like a parabola, to the side, and then hover. That gets us to the end of the level, nice and quickly. Much harder than it looks, surprisingly, but we have a 100% success rate we need to maintain. And we continue to maintain that reputation. Cool. We're going to take out these rockets here to take down the sorceress statue, because no one wants a big statue of a big angry lizard in their hometown. We get Peanut for our troubles. And now we get to play Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 Spyro Edition. Specifically though, a little bit of a change. We don't really want to be riding a skateboard. We want to ride a squid. We're squid gamers. If you didn't know, Spyro 3 actually does have a squid board. And in SRT 3, you can use it for any level. So we're just going to go through this tutorial. I'm just going to teach us how to do some tricks. You know, it's like we have never skated before. He thinks that, but we are actually professional skaters. We're actually Tony Hawk re-embodied into a dragon by wearing our spacesuit, just to hide ourselves. Take him on a competition. And if you remember from OG, that competition, you have to wait all the way to the end to get your points validated and Hunter to give you the egg. The reason we can come here and actually get this in our any percent is because we can quit game, we can exit the level, and it just validates the points. Hunter just gives up. We're about to see that now. We earn enough points, which we can do by just jumping up here. 2, 3, 4, 5. We can just give up. And I was just like, damn, okay, that was pretty sick. You can have it. Have the egg. You're too good. So we can just skedaddle and get away pretty much scot-free on that one and head back to the start of midday so we can head to Icy Peak. Again, we have to skip Bianca 3 times here. So that's the second time. We will be seeing a third skip not too far in the future once we finish up at Icy Peak. First, we're going to get our boy Mingus. One of our favorite eggs. Well, I'd say Mingus is top 3. Mingus, Stubby, and Nudes, which Stubby and Nudes will come up to soon. Chat, I'm expecting you guys to go wild for Nudes, okay? We want to send nudes in chat, but specifically noodles. Not, you know, nothing nefarious here. Welcome to Icy Peak. Probably the hardest level in Midday Gardens. First things first, we're going to abuse the fact that TNT follows you and actually is able to blow up the ice wall by getting that little enemy there to get us through the level. And now comes the hardest room of the hardest level in Midday Gardens. There's going to be a number of tricks here that we need to do. First things first though, we need to collect some gems because we're feeling a little bit light in the pocket. So we're going to light that rocket. We're going to take out this podium here. We're going to reposition that cannon for a later jump called Maynard Skip. But before that, we're going to do a nice easy hover to get ourselves to the end of level egg, or not the end of level, the egg you're supposed to get at the end of the level, Reese. Nice little wiggle hover to get us some extra height. Gets us up into that area we're not actually supposed to be in just yet. We're going to do the same thing here, but this time off the edge of the cannon. That's going to allow us to get Maynard early, so we don't actually have to go through the level. We can just jump up here, and we can skedaddle and be on our way. Now it's just a rush to end the level yet again, and you know, the hard bit of this level is pretty much over. We still need to get 3 more eggs in this level, nice and quickly. And we're going to abuse the TNT again to get ourselves into the end of level. Talk to Doug. He's going to give us an egg, and we're going to go down and take on the thieves. And there's a really fast strat here that Groxu showed me not too long ago that I'm going to try and abuse. So we want to scare the yellow thief. We want to come up here and then jump across, get the red thief early. And now you might be thinking, why did I scare the yellow thief? Well, now he's further up the path. I'm able to jump over here, go backwards along the field, and the yellow thief, right there. Nice and quick. And that's going to be it for Icy Peak. We're going to head out and do our last Bianca skip to get ourselves to the next area, which is going to be Sergeant Bird. There is a cutscene here, but I deleted all my cutscenes, so we won't be seeing it. I deleted it out of marathon safety. There is a cutscene here that does take 1:40, and if you skip it too quickly, it becomes unskippable. So we don't want that, of course. So marathon safety, we just go ahead and continue our way through the levels, as if nothing ever existed. Here's our penguin, our little man. We're gonna unlock him for 700 gems, and now we have 2 more gem requirements. One big one and one tiny one that we don't really need to worry about. That's gonna be Bentley later on, this is the big one. And then the Molten Crater Thieves later on in the run. So we still do need to be a little bit prescriptive about what gems we pick up. We'll grab the Step Bro gem. Not sure why it's called that. In honor of Step Key, I believe. One of our resident runners. And there we're just gonna grab a 25. So this level, it's pretty much just an escort mission. Nothing too serious about this one, but we are on a little bit of a time limit to get this weight down here early. We can get this down here nice and quickly, like that. Just before Gabriel gives us Siegfried and teleports it back up to the top of the level. We're gonna go for the gamer jump here. Should land us right on top of the weight. It does. Beautiful. We can drop the second and then head to the end of the level. There are a bunch of enemies in this level that do stop Gabriel from moving. We are going to hit those specifically. So just these ones that are flying. And then we do hit this guy at the bottom here, just as an optional enemy. He gives us 5 gems. He's very nice. And we're out. 2 very easy eggs. And that was a gold split, by the way, friends. Ladies and gentlemen, I am keeping track of those. We're actually doing pretty well. A little bit of a change between OG and the SRT there is that Sergeant Bird's movement isn't controlled too heavily by Strafe, so we can't really speed him up any more than we already have. What we're coming up here is Spooky Swamp. We're going to go for what's called a fly and skip. Nope, okay, cool. My fingers don't work on the controller anymore. What you're aiming to do there is actually fly in and hit the portals and pause on the same frame. And effectively does what we've just done here, but on the fly in itself. And the reason that we do that for Spooky Swamp is because as you enter this level, for some reason, there's just a black screen where you can hear Spyro moving, but you can't see anything, and he actually doesn't move in the background. So if you want to skip that and just reload the game from the start. Otherwise, Spooky Swamp's pretty straightforward. Missing that jump's a little bit unfortunate. Haven't missed that in a few years. There we go, cool. a tough one to miss as well, because it does lose a lot of time if you miss it, but it's no worries. I'm gonna grab Michael and continue as if that didn't happen. And these next two levels are pretty much a rush to the end of the level as fast as we can. There, we skip money bags and half the level just by jumping through the water. And it's going to be a common theme coming through the next level as well, Bamboo Terrace. There's a very cool end of level skip discovered by Cam Vangans, but popularized by Dylan J. Fox. We'll be seeing that one very, very shortly. Alrighty. But first things first. We're going to Bamboo Terrace. Don't stress, guys. Don't stress. But we do need to get what's called the double egg strategy. Every single egg we've collected so far has been one at a time. But right now, we want to try and collect 2 eggs at once and teleport Spyro back toward the portal we want to go through. We're going to grab this flame power up. Going to try and dodge the president's bodyguards here. These rabbits, they like to block my shots very, very convincingly. And right here, there's an egg at the top of this ladder, but there's also a pot. Now, if we can hit the pot and get Modesty at the same time, we can get 2 eggs and get teleported right back to where we need to be near the Bamboo Terrace portal. And in we go. Very convincingly done. And now, Bamboo Terrace. This is a very cool end of level skip. Usually you'd have to kill the enemies and move through the level, but you can just jump off the edge, you get yourself off. And there just so happens to be a wall glidable surface here, which you can make your way up and go all the way to the end of the level. It allows us to do this level completely out of order, completely backwards. Grab the end of level egg here, and then we can get the thief, and then 2 more eggs to send us home from midday. Tom and Pee-wee are going to be our first 2. Here we're going to go try and manipulate the thief into being in the right position for us. Oh, that was close. I was nervous. Grab Pee-wee there, and then head through and grab Madison and Dwight. The other thing we want to... Oh, okay. Don't remember the last time I did that. The other thing we want to be paying attention to here as well is our gem count. Heading into Spike, we want to make sure we're somewhere around the 420 range. If we're on anything less than 400, that's when we start to get a little bit nervous, but, you know, everyone who knows me knows I like to cut it fine. So I am going to grab an extra gem there. Yeah, we are. We're a little low, but that's okay. Cool. And that's the end of Bamboo Terrace. Get out of there and we'll be heading straight on into Spike. Beautiful. Alrighty, so heading in here, we should have around 400 gems, which is enough. The least I've probably done it on is, I want to say 370, 380, somewhere around there. So we're not too bad gem-wise, but we do need to probably focus on picking up a few more, because we will be heading to Bentley very soon. That's a 1,000 gem requirement, so we don't want to be too, slow on that. But first, we have Spike, and Spike is a little bit random. First, we're going to hit the Randy Rocks. They were named after our good friend Randy Burbandy, or Randy Boober. Because they can drop completely randomly, and there's a chance that the rocks actually drop right underneath Spike's feet. Should that happen, Spike will destroy them and give you no chance to actually hit them toward him. Thankfully, we're not going to get Randy Rock today, and that's really good for our time. Really sad for the run, though. Would have liked to see the Randy Rocks come through today. Phase 2, we can easily just pick up these red orbs and get 2 of them as Sergeant Bird drops them from the sky. And then right after that, we'll get some purple rocks, which in some runs do come in handy, but we won't actually be going for purple rocks, so I'll explain it now very quickly. In this fight, it is possible to actually store the purple rock as you leave. At the end of the fight, you can only shoot 1 at a time, right? If you wait for Sergeant Bird to drop an extra purple rock, and then kill Spike, you can pick up the purple rock after the fight is over. Ow, that hurt. Thank you. You can wait for until this phase here. You can go pick up the purple rock. You can take it with you and shoot them infinitely into the next level. So we usually abuse that should we miss a trick called rocket storage later on in the run. But we're just going to go without it for now because I'm pretty confident in our rocket storage abilities. And right there, you would have seen my positioning at the end of that fight. That's what we call early whirly. It allows us to actually get in the whirligig nice and, well, as the name suggests, early. So we can put ourselves into the next world without having to watch Spyro walk all the way from the center of the field all the way to the whirligig. It saves about 3 to 4 seconds. But now, we head into Evening Lake, and this is going to be the first time we see Bianca. So Bianca fans, I hope you're ready. Savor the moment. She does exist, She's right there. And she's gone. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Because that's all you're gonna get. I'm gonna grab an extra gem here just for the sake of it. Don't worry, Bianca fans. You will see her later on. You'll see her at the end of the Sorcerer's Store, and you may see her if I miss the skip in Midnight Mountain. So, do not fret. Here, we're going to try and skip as much as we can to go get Cecil, which is the egg on the podium, just outside the next hut. So we're going to freeze these guys, and it allows us to go over this wall. We don't have to burn it down at all. We're going to do a bit of an easy glide here. Get on top of this wall. And gets us over to Cecil before we're supposed to be here. Now we're going to go for Jasper Wall Glide. It will allow us to skip half the level, but if we mess it up, it'll send us all the way back to the start and we have to do the entire thing again. So very, very punishing getting this one wrong. There we go. Easy. Go ahead and collect Jasper. And then we glide all the way to the end of the level. Skipping most of the tomfoolery we have to go through around melting the snowman and knocking down ice walls. We don't want to be doing it. It's slow. Make our way out of this level, and I'm going to head to Fireworks, and I hope you guys are ready. We're about to hit the two most popular eggs of this game. Stubby and Nudes are waiting for you in chat right now. I'm looking forward to the Nudes hype in chat. But first things first, we have to collect Stubby, okay? Stubby often gets overshadowed by Nudes, and it's important that we recognize Stubby as well. He's a good lad. He's just down here, chilling in the cave, waiting for us. We're also able to get a bunch of gems from here, but there's Stubby. Good egg. And we'll head all to Fireworks where we'll go meet our boy Nudes, and we're going to go for something called Sam Skip. Now, you may be familiar with this if you're familiar with the OG scene. It's exactly the same trick. We're going to try and damage abuse off a bomb that's thrown by one of the first Rhinox in the minigame. Try and make our way to the end of the level based using that. First things first, though, we have to make our way through Fireworks Factory. And there is an end of level skip in this level. However, because of Greta's movement and Greta's positioning in this level, we can't use it to our advantage until we figure out a way to get Greta to the end of level. So, there's Nudes, our boy. Hope you guys enjoyed the short few seconds we got of our boy. We're going to be moving well and truly on in this. So there's Greta. Here's the first checkpoint we have to hit. As soon as she makes her way across, now we can go to the end of the level, but, you know, we're already halfway around. We may as well take the cannon. No harm in that. And we make our way directly to the Sam minigame. Okay, we are going to pick up this rocket though, because we want these gems sitting in this chest. We'll get them on the way back out from Sam Skip. Alright, in the moment, silence here while I try and hit this very gnarly trick. Nice, there you go. So yeah, you just hit the bomb in midair, you get damage abused up, you can grab Sam without having to do the entire obstacle course. Oh, movement's a little bit difficult, but that's okay. And we're out. And we're about to head into what is, I think, one of the hardest levels in the game. But first we need to go visit our boy Jank Whale. Jank Whale, he's notorious. He's a very cute boy, he's very happy, we'll see him smile. But if we try and leave Jank Whale, a number of things could happen. He could spit us out normally. He could just do nothing. He has the ability to spit us into walls. He has the ability to spin like a ballerina for 2 minutes, wasting time, and then just smile at you. He can soft lock you in the wall. He has a lot of things he can do with Jank Whale, so we just like to avoid it as best we can. And we can do that by just quit game, continue, send us back to the start, and we can get into Charmed Ridge instead. So he gets a little bit of airtime, but not enough to really do too much damage to us. Hey man, Ningus is a good lad, and no, there's no Nudes percent, unfortunately. I'd like to see one, but just because there's not too many major skips in Spyro 3, we don't really see it as too relevant. Any percent run's pretty much just Nudes percent, right? Because, I mean, Fireworks Factory, it has that egg requirement that we can't skip, so we have to get the eggs regardless. But welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the hardest level in the game, Charmed Ridge. There is so much going on here and so much to do. First things first, we are going to try and skip to the middle of the level. We don't want to pay money bags, so we're just going to glide up on this chest piece with a little wall glide and grab Mo. And with that, we can actually just jump straight into this cave and skip money bags completely. It's very nice. I do want to grab those gems, so let's use the janky ladders, and we're going to grab Benjamin here as well. Nice early eggs. Now we're going to grab the flame power up because we want to try and hit the cats that are shooting the... going to shoot some fireballs at us later. Do some damage here. And we want to hit that cat, and we want to hit this cat for later because he holds the key to the end of level. We don't really want to go all the way up there and kill him later, so if we kill him now, it makes our job nice and easy in the future. So now, let's head over to Jack and the Beanstalk. Demonic Jack, he looks a little funky in this remake. Don't look him in the eye, okay? He's a little questionable. I don't know if he's actually human or not. And here, we're supposed to be doing some puzzle solving with these mushrooms, but again, just the use of the perfect hover through this game is really quite profound. We can just skip most of the puzzle and make our way up the mountain. A bit of scuffed movement in there, but that's okay. What's some scuffed movement between friends? Right. And Jack doesn't even need our help getting up here. Let's be real. He just jumped up the side of the mountain like he's a mountain goat. I don't know where he's getting the idea that he needs us to get up here, but apparently he does. So we can help him as best we can by skipping the rest of the puzzle. Right here, with another wiggle in the air, we have enough height to actually hover our way up onto the platforms and get ourselves to the end of the minigame. Meanwhile, again, he just climbs up. He doesn't need us. He's a bit needy, really. Head back down here because there's a lot of gems that we want to be grabbing before we leave. Oh, no, I need that. Thank you. I'm not leaving without that 25, that's for sure. And you can see the door opens again because we're now, we killed the cat earlier. Took him out with a flame ball, so we don't actually have to go up there and take him out now. We just glide to the end of the level and finish up here. Now, we are a little bit woefully under-gemmed, but the good thing about SRT3 specifically is that gems are in abundance. We've got one more level before we head to Bentley, so we have a little bit of time to grab some gems. But on top of that as well, and top of Lost Fleet, between Lost Fleet and actually getting to Bentley, there's about 120 gems that we can collect on that pathway, so we're not too worried about gems. We would like to get them a little bit earlier if we could, but, it's never really a stressful experience. Cool. Coming out of here, I will grab this 10 gem in the vase down here just to keep myself nice and comfy. Now head into Lost Fleet. One of the more harder levels as well, not quite as hard as Charmed Ridge, but it gets some notoriety because of the subs minigame. So we'll be going to there. We'll be doing subs 1, but not subs 2, thankfully. I would hate to be the guy who does subs 2. That's why we did Bluto earlier in the run. We talked more about some optional eggs. Okay, Spyro, help me out here, buddy. There we go. A little bit of a wall glide to skip to the end of the level here. But we talked a little bit earlier about optional eggs and how I did Bluto. That's to avoid me having to do subs 2, because subs 2, it's quick if you can get it right. But if you can't get subs 2, it can take anywhere from 50 seconds to a minute and a half to try and get that done. And, you really don't want that. So instead, we just opt for Bluto, 40 seconds egg. So not too bad for us. But we will be doing subs 1 because it's somewhat straightforward. Yeah, we do skip over to Chad there as well, using a little bit of parkour over the level geometry. It's usually another egg you're supposed to get at the end. And now we head into subs, so hopefully I can get the quick cycles here. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5. Almost a perfect subs. That is probably the best subs I've ever done. Oh my god. 5 out of 6 ain't bad, that's for sure. Get out of there. That minigame, if you miss the subs there in that format, you can take anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute to complete that as well. But subs 1 is a little bit easier, so we just sort of take it. There we go. And now we just help Crazy Ed toward the end of the level. We get an egg for our troubles. There we go. And now we leave. Yeah, that was a really good subs, wow. Sounds like a skill issue? Look, you're 100% right. I'm not skilled enough to do subs 2. It's too hard. And it's one of those things, like, you can look at other minigames in this game as well, specifically in Crystal Islands, I think to moles. Moles, yes, you can do that very quickly, but it's such a punishing egg right at the end of the run. We don't want to throw the run to what could be some RNG, right? Or like what could be one of the hardest eggs right after you have to do rocket storage, which is one of the hardest tricks in the game. So it makes more sense to do earlier eggs, especially with Bluto. I feel a lot more safer with that. We are going to grab some extra gems here, just some safety. Sparks, if you could grab that gem, that'd be great, fantastic. Go on, buddy. Cool, there we go. Grab Ted here. And now we're gonna do a big old jump, and hopefully we get it over toward Hannah here. Oh yeah, we just get in. Beautiful. Very tough jump, and the reason that we actually play on a low FPS. Am I gonna be short on gems? No, we'll be okay. I'm gonna be one short, but I can go over and grab this one instead. Cool. No worries. There's the Bentley requirement there, 1,000 gems in the pocket. We're gonna head into the last side area of the game, or last, side character of the game, Bentley. There is one more in this game, but he's very expensive. Agent 9, he costs 1,300 gems, and quite frankly, he's the slowest of the four. He's level specifically. Bentley moves like a tank, as you can see right now, but Agent 9, his level is just point to point so slow, it's not worth it for us. So we're only going to be seeing him right at the end. But right here, we're going to be helping Bartholomew make it back home. And to do so, we're going to hit some gongs and go to 4x3 cutscenes. Interesting little glitch there. If you talk to Bartholomew as the gong, or someone was hitting the gong, you'll actually get to move around in the cutscene, which allows us to get here a little bit sooner and hit this cycle here with the fast seals. 1, 2, and then we should be able to run over here and get the third seal right on target. Yep, there he is right there. Beautiful. The other thing we don't have to worry about now is gems. So our last gem requirement is 300 gems, and we have about 6 levels of 700 gems each to go before we get there. So we're not too stressed. We're just gonna chill. And gems will come to us effectively. We need a second gong here. Another 4x3 cutscene just for the hell of it. And then push our way through to the end of the level. And that's pretty much it for Evening Lake. That's all the levels. We've gotten all the eggs that we need to. We've saved all the critters. And up next, we have a very, very notorious trick in the 3NE scene. If you've ever played SRT 3NE or you've ever heard of it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to be heading on to rocket storage. And hopefully I can get it. My estimate does allow me to miss it twice, should I need to. Preference is I get it first try, because we are technically on PB pace at the moment, by about 20 seconds. But if we can't get it first try, it's no worries. We still have 2 more attempts to get it, and if worst comes to worst, we can go get the purple rock, as I explained previously in Spy. But for those unacquainted with rocket storage, allow me to educate you. It's very, very complicated, and I'll try my best to explain it as we go through. There will be a moment in this fight that I am silent, though, as I set up what's called the Boris manipulation. I've named it myself. Effectively, what we're going to be trying to do here is get the last hit onto Scorch as Bentley is throwing a green rocket on around the same frame. And if we are successful in doing so, we can pick up the green rocket, we can take it with us, and we can go all the way to Crystal Islands and shoot down the Plane Thief without having to pay for the 1,000 gem bridge. So it skips that massive gem requirement. Now, the difficulty is a few things. Bentley doesn't always throw. He throws every 9 seconds, but if he's moving, he won't throw, and he'll just buffer the throw. He throws red and green. If reds are thrown, we can't take those out. If greens are thrown, we can. And it's somewhat frame perfect as well, so we need to be careful that we actually hit Scorch at the right time. So right there, throws out a green rocket. We want a red rocket to start things out so we have ammo. Unfortunately, another green, not looking too spicy. I'm going to delay the hit here so I can get another rocket from Bentley before the movement. There we go, that's what we like to see. Alright, grab these, kill the crabs, and then if we can get underneath Scorch just in time, there we go, we can start the minute. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be sitting under Scorch and hoping Bentley throws red rockets at us. Because all Bentley has, he has 4 green rockets and 2 red rockets he's able to throw. So if we can get 2 reds on the field, we can guarantee that he'll actually throw a green for our rocket storage later. So I'm going to be trying to manipulate that as best I can. There's 1 red on the field already. We're going to be looking for a second one shortly. We want to make sure we don't pick it up. Another green on the field. We may have to go manipulate here. Alright. And it's 9 seconds after he throws, so I'm going to be silent here. That's not good. Pray. It's a red. Oh, that's such a shame. That is such a shame. We're going to go back through and do the fight again. Unfortunately, I just couldn't get the manip in time. Bentley wasn't throwing out enough reds for me. I could have helped myself a little bit more by not picking up the green rockets at the start of the fight, but you still need ammo, so it's a bit of a balancing act between what rockets do I pick up to try and manipulate Bentley into throwing reds, and what rockets can I leave behind. So we're going to start the fight again. This time he's throwing out eggs, so I'm going to pick up the green rocket here. I'm going to keep shooting until I get the red rockets to really get him into the cycle. We're hoping for red here. Perfect. Okay, this is much better. Gonna be doing the exact same thing. Bentley hopefully throws. Landed in behind me, so we'll be able to check what color that is very shortly. Perfect, there's another red. Well, that was a green over there that Bentley threw. So I'm going to actually leave the greens on the field, specifically so we can try and get Bentley to throw out more reds. The less greens he has, the more likely he is to throw a red. Pretty much hoping for a red here. Alright, so now it... Ooh! Oh god, he threw it. It was there. I might be unlucky again here. We'll have to wait and see. No, we're good. Okay, he throws out the green rocket. Hopefully it'll land in the middle. Yep, beautiful. I can collect it. Second try rocket storage, not too bad. Bit unfortunate for the PB pace, but not too bad for the marathon pace. There we go. So now we've got the green rocket, we can now shoot that to our heart's content, and it's not going to be too much of a problem for us. We can go straight to Crystal Island. And look, it's not necessarily frame perfect. It is close to frame perfect, but it's more of a timing game, really. I'd say it's a very short frame window instead of frame perfect then, Cat, if that helps. Cool, here we're actually going to be trying to skip Bianca yet again. Hopefully we can hit it. If not, you Bianca fans get a little bit of extra. We can jump in behind this basket here. Her trigger doesn't actually extend out that far, so we'll be all good. We'll grab Saki here. And this is a little bit scary, right? If we die here, or if we get teleported anywhere, we lose the rocket. We have to go back and collect it again, otherwise we have to collect 1,000 gems. So you'll see I'm being very, very careful when I'm jumping across gaps, not to fall in, and trying my best not to cark it, as the kids would say. Cool, alrighty. So right here, you see, green rocket, I can take out this enemy, turn, and we take out the thief in the plane. That teleports us all the way up here to the flying power-up. So we head through the gate, we can go down here and head all the way to end the level, and we don't have to play for what is, in my opinion, the community's opinion, the worst money bags purchase you can ever make in any SRT game. It is 1,000 gems for what is effectively a cinder block bridge. Right here, it may look like I'm falling off by accident, but no, we can actually hit the side of that slide and run on that post. Gets us all the way to the end of the slide without having to go down. It saves us a lot of time in the long run. And we don't actually need the gems on the slide, so, you know, we're not too pressed for cash. Get Eloise, get Lloyd, and then we get the last 2 eggs, which ironically enough should actually be the first 2 eggs that you collect in this level. Or at least one of them should be, main. But we can use the flight power up to do that. There's moles there. It's an optional egg. It's not a good one. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone looking to run this game. But we can grab this egg over here with the flight power up, and then after we grab Grace, we can do a big old jump around this orange tree, all the way down to Maine. Or Maney, I should say. All done. Well, that's the end of that one. Now we're moving on to what this I think is the second hardest trick in the run. People are in disagreement on me on this one, exactly what it is the hardest trick in the game. It's called Torch Jump, and it allows you to skip from the start of Haunted Tomb to the end of Haunted Tomb pretty much straight away. The difficulty is that you're landing on a very, very small platform after a wall glide hover. So you can see it very, very shortly. Hopefully we can get it in the first few tries, but otherwise we might be here for a little while. And we have to praise Daniel, as Hoagie Pops would say. We can glide into the corner here, and we want to try and get on the front right of that torch to allow us to jump up onto the end of level platform. It's going to take us a few attempts. It's a very, very finicky platform to try and land on. There are better ways to do this. I have not learnt them, and this is just how I learnt my way, so unfortunately, there we go. Beautiful. We get to the end of the level. Now we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be heading for tanks. The slide is right there, and the old route actually let us go up down the slide first, and then we come to tanks last. But because we don't need the gems anymore from that section, we can come to tanks straight away, and it's not going to be too much of a problem for us. Then run back later, and we actually dodge a whole section of falling rocks and gems, which we just don't need anymore. So So this first bit of tank's pretty straightforward. We're just going to move our way around the course. Now I'm going to switch to keyboard and mouse. I'm going to put down the controller. And this now becomes a first-person shooter game, which I'm going to try my best to curve some of these shots around. So about 5 shots out that way. As we move forward, the other tanks behind those pots will actually move with us. And we can actually take some shots behind the platforms, or behind the pots rather. You'll see here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and as I move to the left, the tank out there moves to the right. Actually, you can hit him behind the pot. And last but not least, we'll hit this man back here. Move him into the shot, and it's all done. Back to controller. Cool. Now, we'll be heading back, all the way back to the slide. And again, that just stops us from having to go through a rocky section of falling rocks in this level. And anyone who's familiar with Haunted Tomb knows that falling rock section, you're guaranteed to take 1 hit. And I don't really want to do that, so we'll head over here regardless. And now, we have to 1v1 Mike Tyson here. Hopefully we don't get rocked by him. There we go, cool, nice. And we just have to dodge his dog as well. There we go, nice. Very, very tough level. There's a lot of difficulty there, brought between tanks, torch jump, and actually getting up to that last egg there as well. Can prove quite a challenge, especially if you're on low sparks, so pretty well done. And that's pretty much the last hard level of the game. We've got Dino Mines and Desert Ruins left to go, and our revisit to Molten, as we talked about at the start of the run. Other than that, we're pretty much on pace. So up next, Dino Mines. Every single level now is just a rush to the end and grabbing eggs as we can on the way. So we're gonna head into Dino Mines now. We're gonna do what's called the Dino Mines Wall Glide, discovered by the Toasted Cat. And it's a bit of a hit or miss trick. It's very, very easy, but if you mess it up, you know, it's a bit difficult. You don't lose too much time, thankfully, because we do time in loadless, but we try not to miss it regardless. First things first, we get Dan, and we're gonna try and glide around this corner here. And the reason it's difficult is because it's a bit different to every other glide, right? There it is there. Nicely executed. Every other glide in this game, what you're doing is pressing X and then you're gliding and then turning. For that jump specifically, you're turning well and truly before you glide, and you're losing a lot of height while you're doing it. So it's super important that you turn quickly to make sure you can get that wall glide and get yourself out of there in time. And it's very, very different to every other glide in the game, so it's a bit off-putting when you've done an entire run of wall glides, and you come to this and you're like, yeah, I can do this. And you just miss it because you glided at the wrong time, you glided too early. Not to worry though, we'll just rush our way to the end. There's another optional egg there. It is Dino Tunnel. It's quite similar to the Seashell Tunnel, and IGT does stop in there as well. So if you're running on console, it's actually optimal to do that one. But here, we've already done Bluto as one of our optionals, and Tanks 2 was our second optional, Subs being the third. So we've got a bunch of optional eggs out of the way already, and that's the last one I think we can realistically take. Everything else is a little bit too slow for our liking. Glided, glowed, glide, gleed, gleeded, gleedy. I don't know, man. It's the same as like octopus, octopi, octopuses. Who knows? Anyone's guess, really. Let's talk to the scientists. Here we're going to try and manipulate Macon into a, yep, there we go, Macon Thief into a nice position by just jumping off the edge of the cliff. And now, into our final new level of the run. This, I like to call it Toxic Bikini Bottom. It's just Desert Ruins, and we are going to be going for swag strats here. I have to do it. Groxu discovered this not too long ago, and no one's done it in a run, so we're going to go for it. Can I hit it? Maybe like 5% of the time. But we're going to try our best to do it for Groxu. So Groxu, if you're in chat, shout out. So here we go. We're going to try and hit this. Oh, we did it. Huge. Okay, that is a really hard jump there. Instead of doing a damage abuse there on the water, on the fountain, and doing a huge glide across, we can actually just do a wall glide into that corner and be just fine. But actually getting into the spot to get that, and then getting the hover as well, very difficult, so I'm really happy we got that. Alright, now we head into a Sheila minigame here. We want to try and minimize the number of jumps Sheila is taking. Every jump actually makes her a bit slower, and every huge jump, every moon jump, actually makes her even slower again. So we want to avoid taking as much damage as we can and avoid jumps. The brown scorpions we don't have to jump for, I do just in case. And then for the blue scorpions you do have to jump for because their attack cycle's a little bit faster. So here I'm going to take out this guy, we'll do a double jump here, and double jump there and kick, yep, we just get him. And here, blue, have to jump, and unfortunately get the moon jump there, so do lose a little bit of time, but not to worry. There we go, and there's a brown one here, which we won't have to jump for at all. And the other thing we want to be focusing on here also is getting golden sparks back. We're about to head into the sorceress fight. We're not too far away. And if we go into sorceress fight with green sparks or lower, Agent 9 will drop sheep only. He won't actually drop the cannons. He won't drop the tanks. He'll drop sheep until you're back to gold. So we want to make sure we're going in with the healthiest sparks possible. But first, we need to go to Molten Crater. We need to do our revisit that we talked about earlier in the run. Here we are, back again. We need to go get some thieves, and we need to go get a very easy egg in the Sergeant Bird area. Now that we've unlocked Sergeant Bird, that portal over there on the left that you just saw for a split second is now open, so we can head in and get Luna. But first, we need to get these cheeky little thieves. We talked to Stony there because if you don't talk to Stony, he has a tendency just to wander off. He gets a little bit absent-minded. He just likes to walk into the wall, and it's actually impossible to talk to him. So I like to talk to him first so we don't hit that. Cool. We get the first egg Morio there. Now we're going to try and get Hermit, but we're going to try a little bit of a fast strat here and get him on the first lap. So you can see Supercharge is now activated. And if we jump here, and we jump here, theoretically we can, yep, beautiful, hit Kermit. Cool. And last but not least, we'll get a man just walked out of the wall, no worries. Oh no, Sergeant Bird. Sergeant Bird can be a little bit janky. The camera decided not to turn there. That's okay, we still get the egg. And last but not least, you may have noticed at Desert Ruins we didn't get the end of level egg. That's because we have to come back to this level regardless to try and get back to Sorceress. So here, we can do a wall glide, another one, and get ourselves right to the end of the level. Talk to Tara? A little bit derivative, but that's okay. Tara Croft there, and exit level, and gets ourselves out and ready to fight the Sorceress. Interestingly, if I look at my splits right now, had I hit Rocket Storage first try, this probably would have actually bopped Grox this time, which is a little disappointing. But that's alright, it's been a very, very clean run so far, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. As we head into what is the final fight. The final frontier for Spyro. Spyrothon, this is the last run, this is the last fight. Spyro's gonna go home. He's ready, he's in his suit. He's ready to find the UFO. He's ready to take down the Sorceress who's stealing his eggs. Here's Bianca, the second time and only time we'll see Bianca there. And now we're gonna go for the flying skip. No, we missed it, damn. That's a shame. We wanted to hit the flying skip for the swag, but not to worry, we will just be seeing the loading screen instead. So no flying skips from me, but hopefully you saw them earlier on in the runs. But here it is, the final fight. I hope you guys are ready. GG's ready in chat. And we want 2 GG's, right? Spyro needs his UFO, but we also need to kill the Sorceress. So here's a monkey. It's Agent 9. We didn't save him earlier. He's a little bit too expensive for our taste. And the Sorceress, she has 3 main attacks. She can do Fireball, she can do those blue orbs, or she can come and hit us with the thickness. There she goes, she'll run at us, smack down, and then run away. Effectively, what we want, this is a good manipulation here. We want her close enough to us that we can actually hit her early with the cannon, and that's exactly what we want. Nice leading shots. Closes out that phase of the fight nice and quickly. Next are the tanks. We have 3 shots with the tank before we get kicked off. And we want to do something very, very similar. We want to bring Sorceress nice and close to where the tank's going to be. We want to hit her with the first shot, and then we want to bait out some hits. A little bit unfortunate there, we get the blue attack instead. And some fireballs after the fact. Can I have a tank, please? Thank you, Agent 9. A little bit delayed, but that's okay. Cool, perfect. So she's going to come for us, she's going to try and hit us. We're going to turn around and do the same thing over. Oh, let me turn around. There we go. Still got the hit, I think, so that's good. We are on blue sparks now, though, so we do need to be careful. Blue sparks does mean we are close to getting that required sheep pickup, so I'm gonna be gentle. And Spyro, your time is now. Take the UFO, my boy. He's ready. He's going to space. He's dressed for the occasion. And to finish this off, we're just going to take some donuts around the edge of the field and just drive it home. There's a few more hits there. Left, right, and one more for a good night. That is GG, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of the run. Woo! Not too bad. Sorceress, we left a bit of a cliffhanger there. Sorceress, she takes her hand out and puts it on the edge of the field. We didn't need to worry about that. We've taken her out. We've taken her staff, And we're all done and dusted for what was actually a very clean run. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, because that was probably the cleanest showing of 3 any that you could possibly see anywhere in the world.
I'm so good it needed 4 Gs. I don't know why I said it that many times, but we're rolling with it. I'm very tired right now. That's where my brain is right now.
Thank you very much. 4 Gs is Look, we're at the end of the event. It's one of those things, I think. I'm pretty tired. I woke up early, so I'm going straight back to bed. If you're curious about what the load list time was there, it was a 47:39. That was the second try rocket storage. So rocket storage saves about 90 seconds. So had I hit rocket storage, it would have been a very high 44 or low 45, which would have been 3rd or 4th on the board. So I would have PB'd, but, you know, neither here nor there.
Just in time for us to end Defable. Beautiful.
Defable, unfortunate. You missed the last run.
Appreciate it, nonetheless. Yeah, SirBorris, great run.
Right, I'll throw it back to you.
Love having you on here. Love the energy. Love the run. It's definitely, I think, a really good call to have ended the event with this kind of run, where it's pretty straightforward for the most part. There's wacky stuff in it I had no idea existed, but, like, this was easy to follow, I think, despite being still pretty technical. So hopefully that sentiment is agreed, and that I'm not, like, wildly off. That was the impression I got, at least. So.
Oh yeah, look, SRT3 is a nice middle ground between 1 and 2, right? 2 is very technical. You would have seen that with the 40 orb and the 80%, but while 1 is very movement heavy, 3 is a nice balance between the both. So if you do want to get into running any SRT game, and you want that balance, SRT3 is the place to be.
So yeah,
Anyway.
that pretty much does it for the event here. I don't really have a whole lot to say to end, other than thank you all for watching. Thank you for being patient with all the various technical issues that happened throughout. Still came out good on the other end here. Only like 40-ish minutes, I think, after when it was supposed to end, which, frankly, we take that. So, no complaints from me. We take it. Everyone who was doing a run was able to get on there. I'm really glad we were able to figure out the issue with the Legend of Spyro. That was definitely a highlight for me. I think the only time we've had that series on at any point in the past was handheld, so it was really cool to see it on console for once. So yeah, I'm going to take a look and see who we can raid, because obviously got to do a raid at the end. Leaning towards Deo, personally. It's kind of the obvious choice, but he helped us out so much on the event that I feel like we should probably return the favor. But yeah, trying to think if there's anything else trying to think what else, if there's anything else I need to really say here. I would say keep an eye out for our social media sometime later this week for another announcement. You can read between the lines on what you think that might mean. We're not quite ready to say anything yet, but yeah, keep an eye out for that. We will make some posts of some sort, of some undisclosed subject matter. But yes, so that pretty much does it for today, at least. So let me head back to Quick Break Train for a second, because I put all of 5 seconds of work into deciding this would be a good outro break train, so might as well keep with it and actually use it. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Again, this was the Spyrothon 90% Showcase. Everything will be highlighted and exported to YouTube probably at some point in the next few days. It seems that doing the exports to YouTube is a little faster than it used to be in the past. It tends to process pretty quick, so basically whenever I can get around to it, I will. But yeah, that does it for us today.